male loneliness epidemic, descending testosterone levels, and a thriving manosphere. One could say that these are all signs of a decline in masculinity. Some would say that the decline in masculinity is a good thing because masculinity is inherently toxic. Others might say it's a bad thing because masculinity is what maintains balance in the world. And by the way, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Now stick around with me as we use several popular fictional characters as case studies as we dive into masculinity as a whole. Chapter 1. What is masculinity? Masculinity is widely known as the display of manliness. Imagine a traditionally masculine man. He's probably lifting weights, driving trucks, eating steaks, or using power tools. But I would define masculinity as metaphorically being in the driver's seat. When you're in the driver's seat, you're steering your tribe down a path and sharing your resources. Modern masculinity has been made to make men appear aggressive, oppressive, and toxic. And can we really blame them? The patriarchy has taken masculinity and misconstrued it to fit a narrative that is, for lack of a better word, degenerate. Performative masculinity, like blowing money on fast cars, promiscuity, and being emotionally unavailable, may seem fun in the moment, but over time will slowly chip away at your soul. P.S. If you like to live this flashy lifestyle, to each their own, but don't go out of your way to make young boys feel insecure just because they don't have a yacht, a Bugatti, and 3 Eastern European girlfriends. It's really silly when you think about it. Like, imagine living a certain way that's proven to be unhealthy and then telling people who don't live the same way as you that they're just a bunch of doo-doo heads, beta males, or losers or whatever with noodle arms. According to Carl Jung, the anima and animus are archetypes that represent the unconscious contrasexual aspects of the psyche. The anima is the unconscious feminine side within a man. This is where you'll find qualities that are traditionally associated with femininity, like emotion, intuition, empathy, and connection. On the other hand, you have the animus, which is the unconscious masculine side within a woman. This is where you'll see traits that are traditionally linked to masculinity, such as logic, assertiveness, and independence. These archetypes reflect universal patterns of the human experience and the inherent presence of both feminine and masculine energies within every individual, regardless of your gender. The interplay between the conscious ego and these unconscious archetypes is crucial for psychological wholeness. When integrated, the anima and animus contribute to a balanced personality. This allows a man to access his emotional depth and creativity, and it grants a woman the ability to embrace her assertiveness and rational capabilities. However, when repressed or undeveloped, these archetypes can lead to imbalances, which in turn manifest as projections onto others. An example of this would be a man projecting his idealized feminine onto a romantic partner. It's important to understand the unconscious masculine and unconscious feminine within all of us. Nobody should be hyper-feminine or hyper-masculine. This doesn't mean women have to drive monster trucks or shotgun beers. But ladies, start small. It won't be the end of the world if you try a martial art and lifting heavy weights. And fellas, it's not a crime to try painting or a skincare routine. I believe that the best thing we can do to maintain balance in the world is to respect the masculine and the feminine. We don't have to view masculinity as a synonym to rowdiness or manliness, and we don't have to see femininity as a synonym to weakness or girliness. In reality, they're opposite sides of the same coin. Masculinity is important because guidance is needed. A lot of people around the world do not have a healthy example of masculinity in their life or an active father figure. The most popular subcultures or sub-niches to emerge from the manosphere are pickup artists, the red pill, and the black pill, which is no surprise because while not all straight men desire to be hygienic, rich, or fashionable, we do desire a form of feminine companionship at some point. For those who don't know, pickup artists were way more popular in the early 2010s. And it would essentially be these socially inept guys teaching other socially inept guys how to hit on random women in the hopes that one will either be horny enough or desperate enough to want to sleep with them or to show them signs that they would be interested in a romantic relationship with them.
You famous?
Huh?
Are you famous? Like, don't you be like on Instagram?
Are you on Instagram?
Oh, because I'm like your #1 fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice
What's your
to meet
name?
you. How are you going to be my #1 fan and don't know my name?
Hey, turn around to what you turning down, though, girl. You famous?
Huh?
Are you famous?
Okay, so clearly that's me in the video because it was so off-putting and so weird. First of all, don't creep up behind women and do weird shit. It's just that simple. You see how I turned around like that? It was because he was like creeping up on me. That's hella weird. The fact that you're going to the Grove and trying to like stalk women that, I don't know, maybe have like social media followers or whatever the case may be for your little nerd ass content. Like, it's just, it gives creep. Like, I'm gonna call it for what it is. It gives creep, it gives sketchy, it gives predator. That's what it gives. Another thing is specifically what he had said after the camera cut. He had said, I didn't hear that like first little thing he said, oh, turn around to what you turning down. I heard him say, be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. Keep in mind, why are you saying that to a woman? That sounds like a threat. That sounds like a threat. What do you mean be careful what I ask for? What did I ask for? And I don't even play like that. But please be aware of this man. He's a weirdo. I don't care. The video went viral. Props to him that he got a viral video and I don't know how long. But you're a weirdo and a creep and I'm going to call it for what it is.
And that's psychopathic. So anyways, that's my little spiel on pickup artists. So what they're doing is teaching their followers instrumental language. So if you want to sleep with a girl, here's how to do it. Here's how to manipulate her, you know. They have a bunch of tricks like wear an expensive watch and dress up, and also don't just dress up, so dress up rich, roughly speaking, but also add something peculiar to your wardrobe, like something that really stands out as somewhat odd. They call that peacocking. But it's all bullshit because the guys aren't like that.
I had to force it on the camera because I'm a pickup artist and stuff. I'm pretty sure.
What do you mean you're a pickup
I'm a pickup. I'm pretty sure I can.
Get out of here.
Disgusting scum of the earth. Like 5 seconds. I know I can do it. I can prove it to you. I can prove it to you. Is there some that you like?
No, I know what I like.
Like what do you like? Okay, so if you do not like
try something different with a woman. And I wanted to just get her attention, but we'll see what happens. See, I'm willing to fall on my face for you, the watcher.
Can I help you? Go ahead. For sure.
What kind of gum is that?
Orange.
No, I'll trade gum.
No, thank you.
Please? Can I at least smell yours?
No.
So, okay, let's back up. So I wanted to go as long as I could without saying anything as a way to say, like, how intense it is. Silence can be really intense.
The red pill, which was originally a reference to the Matrix franchise about accepting the truth, is an allegory to gender identity and hormone therapy.
I'm glad that it has gotten out that, that was the original intention, but the world wasn't quite ready at a corporate level. The corporate world wasn't ready for it. So I'm glad that people are talking about the movies, the Matrix movies, with a trans narrative. I love that's how meaningful those films are to trans people.
In the modern world, the red pill is repackaged misogyny. I'm just gonna call a spade. And it's essentially being taught by buff guys and stringers, or with whiteboards, about how to flip dating dynamics in a way that manipulates female nature. And similar to pickup artists, it's meant to grant guys the ability to tell whether a woman wants to sleep with you, a romantic relationship with you, or whether you're just stuck in the friend zone forever, destined to be a beta male, I guess. And the black pill is essentially repackaged nihilism, This is where guys crap on other guys and tell them why it is or isn't their fault that they were born with woman repellent coursing through their veins. The negative parts of the manosphere are what tend to trend and be at the forefront of people's minds. It's like their way of staying relevant, especially these red pillars and black pillars who tend to be very loud and for the most part wrong. It's weird. That's their way of grifting people and sucking people into the manosphere.
A quick synopsis of what you think the prescription is for society today for men. In a short version, what do you think they should do to be successful with women?
To be successful with women, yeah. Okay, are we talking about like getting a girl for a long-term relationship, just to get laid? What are we talking about?
Well, I think the only reason should be for a long-term relationship and marriage. I mean, that's Jesus Christ founded it, but I'm just curious what your prescription is.
Well, I've talked about this. I think guys have to have certain things in place, right, before they want to get into a long-term relationship. It's 5 things. So I would say $100K per year, 6 figures a year, 6 months to 1 year of savings, be in good shape, have at least 50 partners, right? Sexual body count.
All right, and then is that the last one?
And then there's one more, but that's fine. You could go ahead and engage with what I've said so far.
So the reason I asked that is I've watched almost every single podcast you ever did for about 1.5 years. So much so that I bought into a lot of the things that you said. And for about 2 years, it led me astray and significantly damaged my personal life, including relationships.
How did it lead you astray?
Well, you told me to go sleep with a bunch of women and date multiple women at the same time, which I did. And it significantly damaged my life. And it wasn't until I actually turned around and started listening to Jesus Christ that I was saved. Now I'm happily married. I have one child now with another one on the way, and I've never felt happier. But I felt...
Congratulations, that's good. That's really
good. Thank you. And I know you're not against that, but my concern is what you're saying to men leads them astray, because I'm a walking example of it. And I think you're significantly damaging people, and especially you're leading people away from morality. Women are not sex objects. Women are created in the image of God, and they are valuable. And they should be treated as such. Why should God give you one of his children if you don't even know how to treat them? So I think...
So a question for you. You said you got out there dating and meeting women and stuff like that. And then you said that it kind of hurt you.
Yeah.
How did it hurt you specifically? Did you like just start? What happened specifically?
Well, I started warring against my own flesh. It's like trying to fill an empty void. Mm-hmm. There's a God-shaped vacuum in the heart of every man that can only be filled by God alone. Anything else you try to fill with that's not going to satisfy it. Sure. And I tried to do it with sex.
Like there's things that you could learn that are better, like philosophy and religion and just overall peace of mind. The loud guys at the forefront of the manosphere who are really raking in all the cash because, you know, it's performative masculinity, it's misogyny. Misogyny sells, unfortunately. And it's interesting to think about. A lot of this would not exist if young men just had grown men who cared about them. Preferably their father, but a coach, an uncle, an older brother, or random charismatic guy on the internet will do, I suppose. Introducing Maxwell Tennyson, better known as Grandpa Max. Grandpa Max is Ben, Gwen, and apparently Ken's paternal grandfather. Please tell me I'm not the only one who did not remember Gwen having a brother. Grandpa Max is widely considered as the greatest plumber in the Milky Way. He's hardworking, easygoing, and very down to earth. Max serves as a strong masculine figure to Ben and Gwen as they embark on a road trip and save the world from aliens. He clashes with Ben especially because Ben is a lot more stubborn than Gwen. He does a great job of steering Ben in the right direction while also respecting him as an individual. He's more than just a guardian. He's an active participant in both of his grandchildren's hero's journey. His wisdom is often direct and action-oriented. He teaches Ben responsibility and the importance of using his powers for good. Grandpa Max really reminds me of Uncle Ben from the Spider-Man franchise. Uncle Ben's famous quotes,
"Remember, with great power comes great responsibility,"
isn't too far off from Grandpa Max's,
Ben, what's the matter?
I save an entire Megamart from being a giant hamster's chew toy. And what do I get? Nothing. It's not fair.
Being a hero isn't about others knowing you did something good. It's about you knowing you did something good. Being a hero is its own reward.
These quotes are the character's methods of instilling a moral compass within the two young men. I wanted to throw Uncle Iroh into the conversation as well, because he's another character that I believe does a great job of embodying the wise old man archetype. His philosophical insights, gentle guidance, and unshakable optimism as he guides Zuko not with fiery force like he's used to receiving from his father, but rather with patience, compassion, and a deep understanding of human nature. Iroh's wisdom encourages Zuko to walk down his own path while subtly steering him towards a more virtuous one. He teaches the importance of inner peace, self-acceptance, and the power of love and forgiveness, demonstrating a spiritual wisdom that transcends immediate conflicts. For this section of the video, I wanted to start with the Boy Scout from Krypton, because everybody knows his name, but they don't know who he is. Unless they're a true comic fan or watched Smallville, they don't know his true nature. And that's mainly because evil versions of an all-powerful being have grown increasingly popular in a modern world that has grown exceedingly nihilistic. Omni-Man was evil because he came from a planet that has no value for life that they view as below them. And when you were born and raised on a planet that embraced eugenics with open arms and went out of their way to conquer other planets, of course you will treat others as inferior. But interestingly enough, Nolan had a change of heart when he realized that his son, who is half human, has a soft spot for these people who he doesn't even know. Homelander, who was literally raised in a lab and didn't receive love as a child, which caused him to grow into a sadistic sociopath with mommy issues, has become a very popular evil Superman clone. In the Injustice video games, Superman becomes evil after Joker tricks him into killing Lois Lane. And the mediocre at best DCEU also drew inspiration from this version of Superman. It makes sense that with all these different versions or clones of Superman, the general public would be surprised when they see a trailer for the new DCU of a Superman that appears kind-hearted. What some people fail to realize is that the difference between Superman and the evil versions of Superman is that all of these versions are regular people who want to be treated like gods. But in the DC canon, Superman is a human that is treated like a god. Yes, he's indestructible. Yes, he can fly. Yes, he could destroy whole galaxies with the flick of his wrist. But he doesn't. He has no desire to. He just wants to help others who are unable to help themselves. I feel as though people forget that the reason Superman is so human is because he was raised and adopted by some of the most kind-hearted people. And they armed him with a strong moral compass that always points towards doing the right thing. I remember in an earlier episode of Smallville, Clark saves Lex Luthor from drowning after Lex hits Clark. When Lex realizes that Clark has saved him, he gifts Clark with a brand new truck, but Jonathan demands that Clark return the gift.
I don't know how much you want it, son, but you can't keep it.
Why not? I saved the guy's life.
So you think you deserve a prize?
That's not what I meant. Look, how about you drive the new one and I'll drive the old one? Everybody wins.
This is not about winning, Clark.
This section was hard to do because there's so many bad or toxic examples of masculinity, and I already have a series where I tackled a few of these characters like Patrick Bateman and Eren Yeager. These are still great characters and honestly feel like a guy that we've all met before, and depictions of negative masculinity are still needed because art represents reality. And I really appreciate when these characters are well written, but what I don't appreciate is when people who are not already toxic want to become toxic, or when people who actually are like this don't see the problem with this behavior. Trust me, there were so many literally me characters I could add for this section, which include, but are not limited to, the Joker, Lord Ozai, Tony Soprano, Homelander, Light Yagami, Johann Liebert, Walter White, Tyler Durden, and even Anakin Skywalker. It's okay to empathize with these characters and understand where they're coming from, but just remember that these characters are what not to do.
Doesn't his very existence diminish you? Diminish us all? But with him around, you're a parody of a man. A dullard. A cripple. Next to Superman, even Lex Luthor's greatness is overshadowed.
Lex Luthor exemplifies toxic masculinity through his constant need for control and dominance. He refuses to be overshadowed and made to feel less than, because he views himself as the ultimate authority of Metropolis. He sees Superman, a benevolent and powerful outsider, as a direct threat to his power. Luthor's deep-rooted insecurity fuels his belief that he is inherently superior, which in turn leads to him suppressing important emotions like empathy and compassion because he views them as weaknesses. His ego demands that everyone acknowledge his intellect and power, and he can't tolerate anything or anyone challenging his supreme position. This relentless pursuit of power, paired with his inability to admit vulnerability, showcase the destructive nature of toxic and hyper-masculinity. Lex argues that if Superman is all-powerful, then he cannot be all good, and if he is all good, then he cannot be all-powerful. Which is fair, because life is all about balance. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And Lex views Superman as an abomination because people will become lazy, compliant, and without purpose when they realize that an all-powerful being can pop up at any moment and save them from their own mistakes. Whether it be because a child fell off their tricycle and scraped their knee, or because hostile aliens are abducting cows from farms. It's actually really interesting to think about because Lex is correct. Superman isn't all-powerful. Kryptonite is his Achilles heel, and there are far more powerful beings in the DC canon.
He's on top of you, he's on top of you. One shot, 1A, 1A, 1A! 5C, 26A, 5B, 6H, 27A, 92, 46B! That alien!
So if I may ask, why do you hate Superman so much? He's been saving the world for the past 3 years.
Why do I hate him? The sun makes him strong while the sun kills us! I'm envious of him! I hate him! Who let him escape? Take it up!
Not this again!
The meta-human saved him! And his suit is corny as shit!
Is our job only to pick up pencils?
How many fucking cups is he gonna break? You're sexting Jimmy? Off to the Shadow Realm with the other whores! That is perfect, my monkey bot!
Anyone who says that Bruce Wayne is the mask and Batman is the actual man simply does not understand the character and is just regurgitating word vomit. Bruce Wayne is a product of his environment. After witnessing his parents' murder in an alley, a once sheltered Bruce Wayne had all of his innocence ripped away from him. Gotham City nurtured Bruce Wayne into becoming Batman, the same way that Gotham sired the Riddler, the Joker, Catwoman, and even Condiment King. The helplessness that the citizens feel is what compels them to become heroes, villains, and vigilantes. In a city where one can take matters into their own hands by bribing and threatening politicians, committing acts of terror, being a hired gun, or even becoming a dirty cop. All of this is the reason that Bruce adopted a symbol that strikes fear into the hearts of criminals. Batman is the stern hand that knocks sense into the ne'er-do-well, and Bruce Wayne is the warm helping hand that endorses good-hearted politicians. Batman and Bruce Wayne are one and the same. He prefers for his good deeds to be done behind closed doors, because anybody who becomes too close to diminishing the corruption in Gotham City could easily disappear. Gotham is a dark gothic city that needs a dark hero to keep the city safe. One of my favorite tropes depicted in DC media is when criminals and heroes don't even know if he actually exists.
Batman from the POV of the criminals has to be the scariest thing ever, bro.
Absolute horror.
Because the thing is, early on, most common thugs and criminals don't even believe that Batman's even real. Like, to most people, the Batman is really just a myth.
An urban legend, a fairy tale.
They're like, Batman, a crazy bat running around beating up criminals? That's fake. So then, imagine, late at night, it's pitch black out. You're out doing your thug and criminal activities with your thug and criminal friends. And then all of a sudden, you just see some random shit move through the shadows. And then boom, one of your homies is gone. And you're just looking around confused, what happened? You have no idea what happened. And then you find them dangling from a gargoyle
by their legs.
You're looking around paranoid, oh my god, is the Batman real? And then you start seeing the pointy ears,
and then boom, you're unconscious.
And that fear factor is a key part of what makes Batman Batman. That's why he moves at night. He needs criminals to fear them, so they get sloppy and make mistakes, and he could go in for the kill. Like, just think about all those Arkham Batman video game missions from the POV of the criminals. All throughout the game, we're over here walking around through the shadows, swinging from gargoyle to gargoyle. At the beginning, the thugs are so cocky, like, we got it, we're gonna beat the Batman. And as you take them out one by one, they get more and more scared.
If Gotham can handle the Batman, they can handle the Green Arrow. The Batman's an urban legend. Wait, you don't believe Batman's real? He's not real. He's an urban legend concocted by the Gotham Police Department to scare criminals.
It shows that his symbol of justice is effective, especially when criminals are like, yeah, I am not committing crimes in Gotham. I heard they have some crazy guy running around in a bat suit, eating people and tearing them limb from limb. Bruce Wayne donating to hospitals, free clinics, orphanages, and rehab facilities are all a part of his crusade. Now, I chose Bruce Wayne as the ugly version of masculinity because sometimes he's hard to defend. I see why a casual viewer may be turned off by him disciplining the criminally insane with brute force. Yeah, he does more philanthropy work than any real-world billionaire, but what if his parents weren't deleted right in front of him? Would he still have the same remorse for the average citizen as he does now? But his actions make a difference because it inspires others to embark on his crusade and join his fight against corruption. This encourages politicians, policemen, and other heroes to do the right thing. But this also turns people off because his adopted children tend to later hit the streets to join his fight against crime. There is even an episode of the animated series where Dick and Tim have a conversation about this. The two both appreciate what they do, but Dick feels as though he was manipulated into becoming Robin, whereas Tim went out of his way begging to become Batman's Robin. In the TV show Chowder, which I recently did a video essay on, the writers give us a story where they show the importance of a stern masculine hand, in this case Truffles, and the gentle touch of a soft feminine hand, in this case Mung Dal, and how both of their love is what allowed their adopted son Chowder to grow and blossom. In conclusion, masculine and feminine dynamics are important because it provides the world with balance. Without strength, how can we recognize gentleness? Without gentleness, how can we acknowledge strength?